So for each child, we have to run ABA or make a ABA program individually. So that is a very, very important point, that it is a personalized therapy. We call it individualized education plan. Many of you have heard the term IEP, right? And this therapy uses behavioral principles to improve socially significant behaviors. Now, ABA is considered as a strategy to condition behavior. What behavior do you condition? Do you condition all behaviors that you feel is maladaptive for a child? Or do you select certain behaviors which you would like to condition or modify? We ABA therapists, we believe that not all behaviors need to be changed. Behaviors needs to be changed. Which all behaviors? Socially significant behaviors, and any behavior that might impair the learning capacity of a child. Socially significant behavior. Suppose you have taken a mother, a parent has taken his or her special need child to the mall. Now the child has a habit of humming, so he or she sings in a very soft tone to himself or herself. People around him cannot even possibly hear. Now you might say, oh, it's a public place, so let's not sing. ABA therapist asked to the parent that does it bother the passerby? Does it bother the people around him? Does his humming behavior impedes his learning? If the answers are no, then we might as well not try to modify the behavior, because many a time certain behaviors are calming strategy for the child. The child regulates himself or herself with certain behaviors. Let's not try to change those behaviors. So which behaviors we try to change or modify? I wouldn't use the term change. We cannot change the behavior. We can modify the behavior. We can teach them an alternative, socially applicable or acceptable behavior. Certain behaviors which are completely not acceptable is self-harming behavior. Yes, we try to change those behaviors which might harm the child or harm anybody near that child. So not all behaviors you aim to change. That's also a ground rule. So do not pick all behaviors that you would like to modify. Another tip is, do not pick up too many behaviors. So take one behavior at a time. The child might get very, very overwhelmed and it might not work to the benefit of the child. Okay? So why do we apply this ABA therapy? It is used to support individual. So what is the catchword here? That you are going to support the individual. Okay? Supporting. So you teach the child something to support him in his academic goal, to teach him something for his daily life conduct. How you are not asking him to leave everything and only learn things that you are teaching. He might have certain behaviors. You just support him to decrease the negative behavior and increase the positive behavior. So it focuses on understanding. First, you have to understand what is the behavior we are trying to modify. Can we define the behavior? You might say, the child creates tantrum. What does that mean? Does tantrum have a definition? No, tantrum might mean anything. You know, a child make loud noise, a child may lie on the floor, a child may cry loudly, a child may hit somebody. Those all come under the umbrella of the word tantrum. So you cannot say, oh, the child has a tantrum today. No. What was there that the child was doing? Be specific. That the child, when a worksheet was given to the child started to scratch the teacher. Or when a worksheet was given to the child started to run away from his seat. So these are specific, these are definable, these are measurable. So first you understand what is the behavior. Do not use a vague term. Be specific. The child was flapping his hands. How many times? When? Why? Have we noted? Yes, we have to record all of this observation. Then you have to measure. If you say every time I give the worksheet, the child starts crying, record how many times it happens. Does he do it for every worksheet or does he do it for a new work or task demand? So you have to understand the behavior in a specific defined term so that you can measure the behavior. How are you going to otherwise understand that if the intervention is being applied and the maladaptive behavior is going down, if you do not have a record how many times the child flopped on the floor on day one, then we intervened, and how many times the child now flops on the floor after the 15th day of intervention. So you must have a record for a daily 1 hour, whatever your observation period. So you have to measure, otherwise you would not know whether the intervention is working or the intervention is not working. Is it clear till now? Everybody understood?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Next one is, what are the key feature and approaches of ABA therapy? First of all, as I said, that it is an individualized plan. So each child gets a plan according to the child's limitation, according to the child's strength, according to the child's goal. What are you trying to teach the child? So each child will have his own individualized plan. Applications. Is it only applicable to children who learn differently? Neurodivergent children, we say, we use the term. So there are category, neurotypical children and atypical children. So this neurodivergent means it's an umbrella term. You can include every child who has learning difficulties, who has behavioral issues. So you can use it for neurodivergent child in education. You even apply ABA therapy in organizational behavior management. You have been increasingly people are using it for sports psychology and health and fitness. A person has a behavior of munching at midnight. An ABA therapist devise an intervention strategy for the person to reduce that maladaptive behavior. So ABA therapy can be applied to a wide range of problem behavior. Types of therapy, we use discrete trial training where it is very highly structured, one-on-one. You deliver the teaching methodology individually, one-on-one, on the tabletop, and it's a very contrived situation and highly structured situation. Or you can have pivotal response treatment, child-led, naturalistic. So you took the child to the play area, the child ran to a ball. The child doesn't know what it is. The child doesn't know what can be done with it. But because he was in a natural setup, you can seize the opportunity to teach him, oh, this is a ball. What can you do with it? You can throw it, you can catch it, you can roll it, you can bounce it. So you are applying a teaching strategy led by the child. Now, child-led does not mean you let go of the child goes anywhere. It is not, but we try to use naturalistic setup and a thing that the child shown interest in pivotal response treatment. What are the learning stages in ABA? So we first teach the child skill acquisition. Suppose you are teaching the child the phonetics, sounds of alphabets. So first you will teach him, oh, A says apple. B says bat. So this is his acquisition state. So you continuously, consistently, persistently apply the same strategy in teaching him the acquisition. When you fairly can assess that the child now can say the sounds of alphabets mostly, then you try fluency, that randomly you pick up an alphabet and ask the child, oh, what does it say? It says G. And then you put it on maintenance. Maintenance means now you are 100% sure that the child has got all the sounds of the alphabets. He only needs to practice it occasionally so the child does not forget it. We call it maintenance stage. Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, we keep the goals which have already been mastered as maintenance goal. We sometimes take the goal for practice maybe once a week. Many a times we'll practice the goal maybe in 15 days, depending on how much the child can recall. And then generalization. Generalization means suppose on the tabletop or in the classroom, you taught a child, oh, this is an apple. So you showed him a picture. The child now knows that this is an apple through that picture. You take the child to the market and you ask him, oh, can you go and find an apple? The child might not be able to do that. That means he doesn't have generalization skill. So that is why we also suggest that do not do all activities on tabletop all the time. Take the child to a natural environment, show him or her the real example so the child can generalize. You have taught a child to say, hi, Krishna sir. So the child has known to say only hi to Krishna sir. When a new person comes in, the child doesn't say hi. So you have to now take the child to different person and teach him, oh, you say hi to Gayatri ma'am also. Hi, Gayatri ma'am. You can say hi to Vanita ma'am also. Hi, Vanita ma'am. So you are generalizing. Now you ask the parents, when you take the child to your friend's house or family gathering, does your child say hi to people she knows or she doesn't? Whatever feedback the parent give, you have to teach the parent that, okay, next time you take your child to a family gathering and you know that this child knows this uncle, you can encourage him or her that, oh, go say hi to Krish uncle. So we try to generalize. If generalization does not happen, it's only a knowledge acquired by a child on a tabletop. So generalization is the ultimate test of you as a therapist if your strategies of teaching has been working or not. Understood? So I move on to the next one. How it works. So ABA practitioners, we often call them behavior analysts. They identify the why behind a behavior. A child is crying. Why the child is crying? The child might be hungry, he is crying. The child might be thirsty, he is crying. The child might be feeling unwell, he might be crying. The child might want a toy and he is crying. So until and unless you know the why behind a behavior, you just cannot teach him a good behavior or alternate behavior. So this is a very elaborate topic, how we understand the why, but briefly I would tell you that there are 4 functions behind a behavior. What are those 4 functions? Attention. A child is calling a teacher's name plenty of times in the classroom. Every time the child calls, Gayatri ma'am, he doesn't say anything, but you turn to him and say, yes. 5 minutes later, he does the same thing. So he does it maybe every 5 minutes, every 7 minutes. What is he trying to gain? He is trying to gain your attention. So he is trying to seek attention. So attention is one function behavior for a function. Escape. A child doesn't want to sit on the table and chair and do an worksheet or do a task, any task. Why the child is so fidgety? Why the child is not focusing? Why the child wants to run away? Maybe the child wants to escape. Now, why the child wants to escape the task? That is a different story. But escape is also a function of behavior. Tangibles. The child might want to eat that piece of chips, or he wants to play with a toy. So these are tangibles the child wants, but he cannot express, he cannot communicate. What is his means of communication at this point of time? Only crying. So he cries. So attention, escape, tangibles, and sensory. Many of our children either are hyposensitive or hypersensitive. Hypersensitive, maybe a child cannot tolerate a loud sound. So anyone next to the child talking to a high-pitched voice, the child gets triggered. Either he starts crying, or he taps table, or he self-harm himself. So if you observe this time and again, then we might say that the child is hypersensitive to sound. Many a times a child may be hyposensitive. So he wants lot of auditory stimulation. So he sings, all of a sudden starts singing loudly. He is enjoying his own voice because that is giving him a stimulation. A child might be he has a tactile sensitivity. So every time you touch a child, he just, retracts back. He doesn't like your touch. He doesn't rather like anyone's touch. So he is sensitive with tactile stimulus. So these are the 4 why behind a behavior: attention, escape, sensory, and tangible. So if you know the why of the behavior, only then you can create an intervention. That's how this is going to be reduced. How this not so positive behavior, we wouldn't say there is good behavior or bad behavior. We would say positive behavior and negative behavior. So how, if you do not know the why, you will not be able to create intervention that will reduce the negative behavior and increase the positive behavior. And suppose the child, like, as I said, in attention-seeking behavior, the child is calling the teacher's name again and again. What do? Do you snub him off every time? Don't call my name. Do you ignore him? You do not even look at him. Or do you teach him an alternative behavior? So we would say, teach him an alternative behavior. That Dhruv, if you want to say something, raise your hand. I will see and I will come to you. So he possibly doesn't know an appropriate functional behavior, how to grab your attention. A child might throw a chalk to the teacher. That's his way of gaining the attention. The child doesn't know how to functionally gain your attention without doing that. So what do? You teach him that you don't have to do that. You can raise your hand. I will come to you and listen to you. So how it works, we find the why behind a behavior. Then we create interventions that teach them functional alternatives. Okay? Now, before you start, So today, suppose you have a new child and this is your first session. So how do you start? Do you come to the session with pen, paper, worksheet, make the child sit, and then you say, let's work? Hell no. The child doesn't know you. You do not know the child. So the child might not at all comply to your instructions. You will feel frustrated. Eventually, the child will also feel so frustrated that from the next day, he would not like to come to the table even. So you pose himself as an aversive stimulus. Moment the child sees you, he will run to the other side of the room. So how, before you start, what do? You invest time in pairing with the learner. And trust me, this investment will go a very, very long way. So no rush. Do not rush it so much that you do not know the child. What are you going to know about the child? You will know what are the child's liking. Does he like to listen to nursery rhymes? Does he like to play with the choo-choo train? Does he like to eat in between, maybe a piece of cracker, maybe a piece of chips? So edible is his interest. Does he like to, just talk if the child is vocal? So he might say a lot of things to you. Maybe it doesn't make any sense, but that is her emotional let go. So do you snub him off there? No. Later, maybe on the first day, you will ask him to talk. Oh, you have a brother. How old is your brother? What do you do with him? Do you play football with him? Do you go to the park? What do you like? How do you? So, what is your favorite toy? Do you like to play with a teddy or do you like to play with cards? What do you like to eat? So, you ask him random question. That is your way of gathering information. Beforehand, you gather some information from the caregiver. Not always it is a parent. Lot of parents who are working parents, they keep the child under the care of a caregiver. So you speak to the caregiver, take your time, fix up an appointment with the parents and caregiver. Understand the child likes lot of tickle. When you tickle, he immediately opens up. The child might not like tickle. So if you have another child who loves tickle, do not assume that this new child will also like tickle. So get this pivotal information from the parents or caregiver. Like when you go to a bank, you have come across to the term KYC, know your client. So pairing is also like know your client. What is his likes? What is his dislikes? Can the child sit for more than 10 seconds? His sitting tolerance is not there. So you have to develop sitting tolerance. You get this information from the caregiver that, oh, he runs around the entire house. We ask him to sit down, but he doesn't sit down. That means the child might not have sitting tolerance. So you have to pair with the learner. Beforehand, you gather some information. Invest time in pairing with the learner. What does it do? Pairing involves creating positive association between therapist and a child. It builds trust and rapport, which sets the stage for effective learning and collaboration, right? Now, when we talk about pairing, it's like building an awesome friendship. When we talk about pairing, does a therapist only pair with the child? Yes, but the therapist is also pair himself or herself with the child's favorite thing. So when in the first session, the child wanted, oh, I want to play with the potato head. You immediately gave the potato head to the child. The child now knows that Gayatri ma'am, if I am in Gayatri ma'am sessions, I will get the potato head, which is my favorite toy. So you are actually pairing yourself with his favorite things, activities, likes and dislikes. Maybe another therapist, very strict, doesn't allow time to play, doesn't allow, like a conducive environment for the child to thrive. The child associates that teacher with aversiveness. So moment he sees that particular teacher, he has already shut himself down, because that is he's in memory that this teacher is very strict. This teacher doesn't give me anything. This teacher makes me work for difficult tasks. So while pairing, you pair with the child, you create a rapport at the same point of time. You pair yourself with the child's favorite activities, favorite thing. So maybe after the fifth session, wherever the child sees you, he will run to you, "Hey, Gayatri ma'am," because he is happy that you give him whatever he wants. Of course, during the course of work. So he pairs himself with his favorite task, favorite activities, favorite toys, favorite food, etc. So pairing happens in 2 ways time. Let's see, there is a beautiful video. What is the importance of pairing? I will try to share this also with you. Okay, let's check this one. Let's watch.
In my last video, I mentioned the importance of building rapport with your learner. If you don't have a positive and trusting relationship,
Everybody can hear and see the video? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
relationship with your learner, they will be a lot less likely to follow directions and participate in daily routines that will benefit them. The scientific term for the rapport building process is called pairing. Contrary to popular belief, this does not mean that you're pairing yourself with the learner like two peas in a pod. The term pairing is short for stimulus-stimulus pairing. It means that you're repeatedly pairing one stimulus, yourself, with another stimulus, a preferred item or activity, so that over time you end up eliciting the same happy feelings in the learner that are elicited by the preferred item or activity. This effect happens to everyone in some form or other. One example is when you recall a certain memory when you smell a certain smell or hear a certain song, because the smell or the song was present at the time that the memory was formed. Anyway, let's discuss some ways you can pair yourself with a learner's existing reinforcers. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out the link to the guided notes in the video description. Now let's get to it. Be intentional about pairing every time you see the learner. Depending on your learner and how your time with them is structured, you can work on this intermittently for shorter periods of a few minutes at a time, or for longer chunks of time. If you've just started working with a learner or you're working on rebuilding your rapport, definitely spend more time pairing. During the pairing process, the learner should pick the activity. Make sure to present the learner's favorite items, activities, and snacks. The purpose of this time is for you to become the giver of all good things, like Santa Claus or Oprah. Consider going to the learner's favorite places, such as their favorite restaurant. You want to be paired with the learner's most favorite things so that you become their new favorite thing. Stay nearby and engage during the process. It'll be way harder to become paired with reinforcement if you're sitting far away from the learner and scrolling through your phone while the learner is engaging with their favorite items and activities. Instead, you should try to add to the fun. Position yourself at the learner's eye level and at a close but comfortable distance. But if the learner prefers to engage in these activities alone, don't force them to involve you. If this is the case, try just narrating and praising the learner's actions, or playing parallel with them. Say your learner is playing with a toy train. Narrating would sound like this. "Wow, you're pushing the train around the track. Now it's going to go through the tunnel. You're doing a great job playing." If your learner does like when you play with them, try to find creative ways to make the activity even more fun. My go-to is to put whatever toy we're playing with on my head and pretend it's a hat, and then pretend to get frustrated when it falls off. Most of my clients find it amusing, and even when they don't, I still just associated myself with a preferred item. And while you're pairing, limit demands. Demands can include obvious things like asking the learner to go clean their room, but can also be more subtle, like asking the learner to clean up their toys between activities, or telling the learner to play in a certain way. Questions can also be considered demands because they imply that the learner has to respond. Instead, remember, narrate and praise like I showed you before. This is harder than it seems because asking questions is very natural. But instead of saying, "What are you doing? Are you having fun?" you could say, "Wow, you're about to go down the slide. That looks so fun." The learner doesn't have to respond to this, and they just receive praise for doing something they like to do. As an added bonus,
Okay, so Some of you, can you tell me what did you understand? Like, what are the things that you should do and you shouldn't do while doing pairing?
You should
Who's
not
going to?
force them to do some activity which they doesn't like,
Yes. Anything
and he should
else?
know the favorite place or thing what he likes
Yeah.
while getting pairing.
Anyone else?
And activities can be given to engage the child.
Yeah. So, is it like only Gayatri was listening? Come on, ladies.
Yeah,
Anyone
to add on,
else? Raise your hand and say
Ma'am,
something. What you?
oh, hello, ma'am. What I understood is on the whole video, instead of we should learn the child as much as possible, and instead of learning their favorite, it is very important to be the child's favorite.
Yeah.
You have to be
Yes.
the child's favorite person, so the child would be very happy to play with you, do things with you,
Absolutely.
connect with you.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
then it would be really help the child to learn more and engage more.
Yes. Yes. That is correct. So, uh,
if I could just add on to it, I feel that we could be very specific, even if we are trying to appreciate, rather not expecting the child to reply for whatever we speak as teachers.
yes. And so when you
Excuse
do
me, ma'am.
pairing, if you suppose the child has asked for a favorite item or favorite activity, you give it to the child and you sit reclusively while the child is playing alone because he has got his favorite toy. Most of the time, we shouldn't do that. So engage yourself also while the child is playing, while the child is coloring. Maybe coloring is his favorite activity. So he wanted for coloring, you have given him a coloring sheet and color papers. He is coloring. Do you scroll on your phone or do you just sit like that and look at him? No, engage yourself. Oh, what are you coloring? What color is this? What is your favorite color? Do you like this color? Engage yourself, more intonation, more excitement. On the other hand, there are a lot of children who doesn't, they need more space. So, okay, be around, but do not be very intrusive. Avoid direct question because you do not know if the child understands even yes or no. So if while the child is engaged with his favorite activity or whatever reinforcer, are you going to ask, do you like this? The child has to answer in yes or no. Maybe the child doesn't have the concept of answering in yes or no, but you can, indirectly say, how fun is this? If you say, oh, is it fun? So you are expecting an answer. On the other hand, if you say, how fun is this? Let me also enjoy. So the child is not under any pressure while he is enjoying his free time with his favorite activity. So avoid asking direct questions. Indirectly, you can chip in. Indirectly, you can engage yourself with the pairing, the thing or activity the child is doing, but make yourself always available around and follow what the child is liking or not liking on the maybe first 2 days. So does the child like you to be a part of it? Lot of intonation. Oh, this is so beautiful. Or the child doesn't like that. If a child is hypersensitive to sound, maybe the child will immediately close the ears. So you understand that he cannot take that much of excitement in your voice. Mellow down yourself, come down here. Like in a very calmer voice, you can also give him praise. So this is how you start pairing. How long should we spend in pairing? Now, is it like 5 sessions, 7 sessions, 1 month? Well, no. After 2 sessions, we will start giving demands gradually. So maybe how do you include demands gradually? Maybe on the first day, it was all whatever he wanted. Second day, after he stopped playing with his sand bucket and all, you might ask him, okay, let us clean. So you are teaching him to clean. It's a demand that you are posing a demand to him that let's clean up the place. Or you can, okay, your playtime is done. Can we now write alphabets? So maybe 2 or 3 alphabets. Give him lot of support. If the child does not know how to write, you give him hand-on-hand prompt, give him lot of support, make him do 2 alphabets writing. Or if you, your goal you have already got from your supervisor. So if the alphabet identification is the goal, you may pick up 1 or 2 flashcards and you ask him, oh, do you know what alphabet is this? This is A. Do you know what alphabet is this? This is B. So you include your task demand gradually from the second session onwards. Pairing doesn't mean it will go on forever. Okay. So there is a video, they just say that. Let me check if I can play that. Wait. Give me a few minutes. I'll copy this. Okay, so I'll share this also with you. Let's see what the experts have to say. So how long is the pairing session should go on? This is Fluff.
Sessions max of pairing without any demand, like period. That's it. By the third session, if I'm not giving some demand, I'm not really doing my job. I'm not doing ABA as far as I'm concerned. So, usually by the third session, I'm throwing in some demands, etc., but I'm still playing. And on the other side of the coin, after 50 sessions of ABA, etc., even though the kiddo knows me and what have you, I'm still coming in and pairing myself a little bit. So, the very first 3 minutes of me, jumping in with a kiddo, the first 3 minutes, I'm not going to put a demand on. I'm going to play a little bit, this and that, and whatever. 3, 4, 5 minutes later, then I'm going to go in. So,
yeah. So the basic point is that you start putting your demand from the third session onwards. Pairing cannot go on forever. So how you are going to put your demands? That's the strategy you have to decide. How much you do, how much can the child take? Yeah, so there is no hard and fast rule that you have to do a whole worksheet on the third session itself, depending on how much the child can do, how much is this child sitting tolerance, what are the goals basically. So if the goal is that the child should sit on his table and chair for 1 minute, do you want the child to sit on the table for 1 minute on the third session itself? No. We break it down. So maybe on the third session, we will give him some activity that he has to sit on his table and chair and do it maybe for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Gradually, you increase it and you develop his sitting tolerance. But the point is that you should start giving demands on the third session itself. But do you stop pairing? No. Every day, like many of us has this ritual, no? Before we go out, who are believers, we just do this to our Almighty. So pairing is like that. Every day you come to the session, take just 5 minutes to be, jolly with the kid, to be fun with the kid. So you practice pairing each day, every session, in between the session, at the beginning of the session, whenever you want. That is your decision. That is your prerogative. That is your call, that how much the child needs. If the child is completely settled and can work for 10 minutes, okay, you will Give him a task that will last for 10 minutes. He will take a break. During the break, both of you will talk. He will play with his toy. You are still pairing with the child. So do not ever abandon pairing and always start with pairing with the kid. Now come to a term, manding. What is a mand? It's the meaning of mand in English is requesting for something. Now, suppose a newborn baby is crying. What do we assume? Oh, he is hungry. So you give the milk bottle to the child. So crying is the only means of requesting because the newborn baby doesn't have any other language, any other skill to communicate. So he cries and we assume that the child is hungry. Now, this is one part of the story. Move on from here. The child is crying. Even if you fed the child 10 minutes ago, the child is crying. You do not know why the child is crying. In your might be wondering, I just fed him. But even he is crying, maybe he is little more hungry. You give him the milk bottle again. The child is still crying and he is not drinking. He is still crying and he is not drinking. So that means our assumption was wrong when the child cried for the second time, that he was not hungry. Maybe he has a tummy ache. Maybe he is wet. Maybe he is cold. So manding or requesting for something is a basic communication that we teach our children. The first thing we teach our children is to request or mand for things that he or she likes. So what do you want? The child should be able to say, I want color pencil. Maybe not in a full sentence. He can only say maybe color. He can only say color pencil. He can say gesturally, he can point to the color pencil. He can grab you, take you to the cupboard where your color pencils are kept and he can point. All these are communication. Only vocally the child will have to say color pencil is not the only way of communication. So gesturally, the child can do that. Pictorially, the child can point to a color pencil set. So these all are means of communication and we call it manding. So the basic first thing that you are going to teach your child is how to mand. Why is that important? Because if manding, the child knows what to ask for, you will immediately fulfill the demand, right? You are not going to beat around the bush. Oh, maybe he is asking for this. Maybe he is thirsty. Maybe he is hungry. No, the child has said that I want a break. That means he doesn't want to work for 2 minutes. So give him a break. If this is happening during the session, you will avoid lot of maladaptive behavior. The behavior might not occur at all because whatever the child is asking at whatever time, you can understand and you can fulfill his demand. So manding is primary and manding is important. Otherwise, if the child is sick, unwell, and he wants to go home and he throws a tantrum, you will still think, oh, he is trying to escape the task. And you are flooding him with more worksheets. Eventually, the child will snap out, break down, and there will be a huge meltdown. So you are escalating the behavior. That is why teaching mands are very, very important skill as a therapist. If you have been able to teach mand, you will know that your session will go smoothly to the extent of 60%. Right? So mand is basically how to teach the child how to request. How do you teach a child to request for something? So if the child, suppose the child was in the play area and he was jumping on the what do you call that? Bouncy bubble thing. He is very thirsty. He comes running to the classroom and he wants to drink water. He doesn't know how to say water. He doesn't know how to ask for water. He is looking for something, you know. So you hold a bottle of water and you ask him, water. You model from that word. The child comes running to you to grab that bottle. That means he was looking for water. So you withhold for it for a few seconds. He says water, you give it to him. So you are actually taught the child to ask for water. Now, for first few days, he will only say water. Then if your goal is language evocation, then you will say, I want water, or give me water. Can I have water? So you will gradually take it. So if the child is deprived of something, only then you can teach manding. A child is hungry, only then his motivation will be to ask for food. So if he is asking for his lunch box, you withhold it for some time. You know that it is 11:30, it is a snack time. He is, creating lot of noise. So you pick up his snack box from his bag, hold it to him, food. He says food, he associates that whatever he was feeling inside, that was hunger. Hunger means food. He can next time maybe come to you and ask for food. He can ask gesturally. He can ask pictorially. If a child doesn't have vocal language, that means he's non-verbal child, please do not force him to say water or food 15 times before you give it to him. You already escalated the behavior. You have already created frustration. So when you are teaching manding, when you are teaching the child to ask for something, maximum the trial in quick succession. Water. What's this? Water. And then give it to him, irrespective of whether he says or not. A non-verbal child, maybe he will just mumble, wah. He cannot say the full word water. But if he even evokes the word wah, you give it to him. You shape it later. When the child has drank water, you shape it later. But for the time, this is the first day of teaching him saying water, you give it to maybe after 3 successive trial, like, yes, the child has to say it, I want water. But it might not happen. Even if the child has learned it, on many days I see children, they do not say full thing. So we give them what they are asking for, and then we shape the behavior. Okay, Sanvi, you can also say, can I please have water? Please give me the toy. So what are the points then? Then when you are teaching manding, accept any form that the child is gesturing to the thing that he wants. Gesture, picture, non-verbal kids, you use a picture of water and you ask him, water? So maybe next time he goes to the play area, on his table, you keep a picture of water. You are teaching PECS. PECS is a way of teaching communication. So the child comes, you ask him to point to the picture of water. That's your goal, because he is a non-verbal kid. He will not be able to say water. So you ask, what is your goal? That the child should be able to point to the picture of water, and you give him the water. Like all of you, many of you will be using AAC, right? Augmentative and Assistive Language app, like Awaz in India. If anyone has been using, so in there, the child can point to the picture, the device will say water, and you give the child the water. So when you start teaching manding, go slow, model prompt, lot of time, do not frustrate the child, take it slowly, one step at a time, right? And in the beginning, accept any form of request. Oh, the child can say water, But he didn't say, he just pointed. Okay, he was very thirsty, so he pointed. He drank water, he fulfills himself, satiated his thirst, then you can model prompt. Okay, Dhruv, this is water. So many a times if you are unsettled within, you cannot take any lesson. So this is how important manding is, and this is how we are going to teach what a manding is. Now let's watch a video. What are the stages of manding? Why is it important? And stuff like that. Okay, so I'll just play it. Give me a few seconds, and if you want to take a break, you can let me know. I can give you a break for maybe 5-7 minutes. Okay, so let's go. Share the screen. Where am I going?
Manding. 4 things to know. This video continues the series on Skinner's verbal behavior. Skinner created the verbal operants, which are
Ignore
echoics,
this part. We are
mands,
not discussing this,
tacts,
only mands.
intraverbals, and autoclitics. What are mands? Mand is another word for request. Mands can be single words or complex sentences. It's vital for a child to know how to mand for their needs. How should we teach manding? There are 3 steps to teach manding. Number 1, identify highly preferred items. Number 2, withhold the item and prompt the mand. And number 3, reinforce and shape the mand. How long does it take to learn to mand? Every parent wants to know how quickly their child will learn, but it's impossible for anyone to predict. What we do know is that consistency is key. Children who are given lots of practice will have better outcomes. Why teach manding? Children who can mand often have lower rates of challenging behavior. There are 4 functions of behavior, or reasons that people do things. Number 1, to get attention. Number 2, to gain access to items. Number 3, to escape or avoid things. Or number 4, for automatic or sensory reinforcement. If the child can communicate their need to escape, to get things, to get attention, or for sensory, they won't need to engage in challenging behavior. Communication is a right. It can be spoken words, sign language, picture exchange, or voice output devices. But mands are only one of the verbal operants. Let's connect. Online at www.
Okay.
$79704.
So manding, and then you teach the child to say water. If the child has said water, you have to immediately reinforce. That means, what does reinforce means? You have to immediately give the item. The child maybe have asked for a play break. you have to immediately give the play break. You cannot say, okay, let's finish this another activity, then you can go to play. That's wrong. The child will not have trust in you next time. That every time ma'am promises, I fulfill the task, I ask for a play break, I don't get it. So whenever you are teaching a man, suppose you are teaching a child to man for play break or break time, moment the child says, I want break, immediately give him the break. You delay, the child loses trust in you, and it's a wrong thing to do, right? So if you do shaping, you can do that later. Whether he has been able to say in full sentence, whether he is using the correct frame of sentence, whether using only one word or part of a word, you can do the shaping later, depending on your goal. But if the child has produced the thing that you wanted, you have to fulfill the demand that he has made. If you do not reinforce immediately, next time if you ask the child to say the thing, he'll just keep quiet because he knows that I say and I don't get it. Did you get my point, what I'm trying to say? Consistency. So some child might learn faster. Some child might learn slower. It's, as I said at the beginning, that ABA is a child-specific plan. So one child under your supervision might have started mending for plenty of things, maybe within 7 days. You are working with another child and you are frustrated that he is not learning as many mans as the other child. You cannot be frustrated because it is, do understand that might be a lot of things is not in this child's repertoire like the earlier child. So consistently, patiently, you have to practice. In ABA, consistency, perseverance, and persistence is a key. So if you do not change your language, every now and then, whatever language you are teaching from the first day, stick to it till the time the child has comprehension that this means this. Be consistent, be patient, and practice it every day. A child in my class, she used to use the, language that even an adult cannot utter. She got the language from home for sure, because in school, in center, no one uses that language. How long does it take for me to pair with the child? 3 months to build the rapport, to build the trust that she will, see me as a happy person or her happy person to go. But did I not work with the child during these 3 months? Of course, I worked. I continued pairing with her, but I continued giving a demand. Now, this maladaptive language. So, initially on the first day, I wore a clicker on my, I kept a clicker with me. Every time she said that bad word, multiple of bad words, cuss words basically, I put a note. I didn't say anything to her. I noted that in a 1 hour session, she has uttered 25 times the words that are not acceptable. So next day, before the session, after the pairing and all, I got the information from the parents that she loves to watch one particular Lululemon song. So I started playing that. I started, playing with her with other things also. And then I mildly said to her that, see, yesterday when working with you, I noticed that you were using certain words which are not good. She has a very good comprehension skill. So you let us try not to use those words. Now, when she is frustrated, she says that F word. I had to give her an alternative word, right, to express her frustration. So I said, okay, you can say, Meenakshi ma'am, I am not liking it. Okay, that is acceptable. But you do not use that word. So I created a token star chart for her that today, if I see that I broke down this session in 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, if you say it 5 times, then you get a star. So first day, 5 times, 5 times, she got 4 star and she got her favorite activity at the end of the session. Next day, I told her that, see, yesterday, engage, make your child participate in whatever you are doing. Lot of children who are adult children, like I wouldn't say they are 18-year-old, but 7-year, 8-year kid, many of them do comprehend well. So include them in, make them participate in whatever you are doing, explain it to them. We always assume that they don't understand, they don't comprehend, but no, lot of children, they understand. Use easy language, use lot of visual, they will understand. So next day I said, see, last time you did 5 times, today you have to do 4 times. And then you will get a star. If it is 5 times, I will take off one of your stars. And if you do not earn 4 stars at the end of the session, your favorite activity will go. So this took almost 2.5 to 3 months time to bring utterances to 0. And now I believe everybody in this center knows that I am her godmother. So we paired so much. Even now, every day she comes for this session, I do not forget to ask her, hey, Ashi, what did you do in the class today? In a very smiling, casual way. So make your child relax, make your child, feel that whatever they say, their emotions are validated. She has Down syndrome, lot of words I don't understand. Even then, I keep on, getting myself engaged in the conversation. That is her high point. That is her reinforcement. So I am giving this example. You create your own example. You think of your own example, what the child likes, how you could pair, how you should teach. And do you have a magic wand that you do this and the child will learn? No. Sometimes it takes 2 months to maybe man for toilet break. But you have to be consistent. You have to try different strategy. So if the child is not learning mending this way, she is not being able to say washroom. So we used a picture of a washroom and we put it on the cabinet next to her, another child. So every time she wants to go to washroom, she has to point to the picture. We stopped telling her that say washroom because she has speech impairment. So more we are working on her speech impairment side by side. She was getting frustrated saying washroom, say washroom clearly, nicely, washroom. So we took that demand off. We felt that is an unnecessary demand. What is the child's goal? That she should be able to man for toilet. So we put a picture. When after successive trial, we knew that every time she had to use the washroom, she will stand up, take that picture, show it to the therapist. Then we started pairing the word with that picture. Okay, so you are going to go to washroom. Now, are you going to use this complete phrase? You are going to go to the washroom? No, the child already lost it. So use to the point statement, washroom, So you keep the picture side by side, you use your word. Gradually, maybe the child now is comfortable. She now knows that this is washroom. She might try saying washroom. You fade the picture and you shape her washroom utterance. So take it slow, take it consistently, practice different strategies, remove unnecessary demands. If you think that demand is not serving any purpose for at least this goal, then you remove that demand. Too many demands at one point of time overwhelms a child. So if you are teaching the child to man for something, immediately reinforce. If you are teaching the child to man for something, be consistent, use shorter phrases and words. If you are teaching the child to man for something, start with basic man, which is needed for his survival: food, water, washroom, break, play, toys. Done. After that, if the child is settled, then you can take for certain other mans that the child doesn't want to work on a particular thing. Say clock. He doesn't like to work for clock. Moment you show him a clock picture or clock worksheet, he snaps. So you can teach him that, okay, you can say, I don't want clock. Initially, the child might say, no clock. Okay, accept that, no clock. You immediately remove the clock worksheet. Then gradually, you teach him, I don't want clock. But do you actually give up on the goal of teaching him clock? When the child says it few times, then you slowly and subtly, maybe once, you tell him that one time, no more. So only one exercise. What time is it? 9 o'clock. Okay, done. You have your break time, or you play with it, or let us go to English worksheet. So a difficult task, if you are going to teach the child to man for, take your time, go slow. This is as regards manding. Okay. And what else do we have? I think for today we had, now, when do you teach manding? Do you, like every opportunity is an opportunity to teach manding. How do I explain? So suppose the child wanted to play with a ball. He got up and in the middle of the task, because the ball was in the corner of the room, and he ran to the ball. Okay, do you pull him from behind that, no, this is your task time? Don't do that. We shouldn't do that. Okay, you follow the lead of the child. This is we call child-led activity. He got very excited looking at the ball. So for the time being, you forget what goal you were working for. You follow the child, he goes to the ball. You can teach him few things here. Take this opportunity to teach him manding. Say, I want to play with ball, or I want ball. You withhold the ball for a few seconds and ask him. Say, I want ball. Give me ball. Moment he says, give him the ball. And for a few minutes, you be there. You validate his emotion. You validate his wish to play with the ball. You can teach him color. You can teach him shape. You can teach him function there. So you can ask him, what is this? Oh, this is a ball, he might say. What shape is it? It's round. What color is it? It's yellow. Teach him function, what you can do with a ball. I can throw a ball. You can teach him yes or no. Can you kick a ball? He might say yes. Can you catch a ball? He might say yes. Can you roll? So see how much you could teach the child in a naturalistic setting. So then when he has got his ball time, you slowly and subtly say, okay, ball time is done. Now let's get back to the table and finish our work. So every opportunity that arises, you take it and teach the child to man for thing that he was, like leading you to. Anything that you feel like an opportunity to teach a man. Now I am only talking. Let's hear from you ladies. Tell me an opportunity in your daily life while you work with a child and you think that this is an opportunity to teach a man. why I am saying so much about mending, because it is very important. You also work with children. So give me an example, any situation that you came across where you thought that, it will be a good opportunity to teach him mend. Anyone from your
Ma'am,
classroom
actually,
experience?
I hope I'm audible.
Yes? Yeah.
Actually, rather than teaching Amanda, I just have a query because I'm connecting with the child that we have in school right now. I mean, he is vocal, but though
Yeah.
when we tell him, he cannot take much time doing in probably say one particular, because he has a habit of staying in the washroom for a longer period of time, missing out the
Mm-hmm.
classes. So every day, almost all of them, all of us, we keep telling that take 5 minutes of time and you come back, 5 minutes or 7 minutes, and then you come back. But then we are keeping on reiterating. Probably it's not working out as we expect. So what would you suggest for us to, how do
This
we?
is this is shaping of a behavior. Can he say that he wants to go to the washroom?
Yes, yes, yes. He's very vocal.
That means that means he can man for the washroom, but his washroom behavior is not appropriate, or I would say it's maladaptive. Maybe he is, do you feel that he is avoiding the task? So that is why he tries to escape and go to the washroom, because he knows
No,
that moment he says washroom, you will let him go.
no, ma'am. Actually, his condition is he hallucinates. And what we got it from the parents also is he has a diagnosis of psychosis. So he in the washroom he feels that's the space he's comfortable, he's safe, he's secure, and he stays there for a longer period of time, even back at home.
But he doesn't have any medical condition, right?
Medical
That he
condition
feels
is
like
in the
going to the washroom many
no,
times.
no, no, no.
Okay. So you have to shape his behavior. You can, what is his favorite thing that he is very interested in eating, playing, doing?
Eating, yes, he likes a lot of
What
things.
a very highly preferred thing that he likes to do, or anything like any activity, any food, any play, any song. What do you feel is his highly preferred reinforcement?
He likes to make
He likes.
pictures. Uh, he likes to make pictures, drawing.
Okay. Okay.
Miss Oxy is
So,
like Oxy, please carry on.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Auxilia.
yeah.
And I'm also going to talk about the same child. Lately, he likes to draw. He's into architecture. He likes
Mm-hmm.
to draw the building. He draws beautiful layouts with the cost and all that. And
Does he like to play with Lego? I mean, do you think he will
not
be
Lego.
interested
He
in?
draws.
No.
He will be drawing it with the
Okay.
scale and with the proper measurements.
So
And the
try
child takes lithium
what?
tablets for some medical condition. That's
Yeah.
the reason he often goes. But
Yeah.
sometimes he takes that as an advantage to escape from the classes that he feels it is boring.
I fear that, because he might be
Yeah,
feeling that it is boring, and because he
yeah,
can comprehend that moment he says he wants to go to the washroom, you will let him
yes.
go. So what
But
you can,
when we
but
set the
number
one
every
more
time he go, yeah, every time he goes to the washroom, he produce urine.
Yes, sometimes pooping also. And he will
Okay,
explain to you. He will, if it is an emergency, he will tell you the reasons for that. And you set
okay,
the time, he will go use it during the time, sometimes 1 or 2 minutes late to the class. But
okay,
he will come and tell me the reason for being late.
okay. So you can put a timer
Yeah.
prepare him beforehand that,
Okay.
I am standing outside the washroom
Yes.
with your favorite thing in my hand, like he likes to draw, right?
Ah,
He likes to draw building and all.
yes.
So get lot of, like he does out plain paper, or you have a book where he draws.
No, plain papers. He gets that A4 sheet.
Okay.
Sometimes, depending upon
So,
the square feet, he'll ask you the
so
square
first of
feet
all,
also.
you use this as you take this as his highly preferred reinforcement. Do
Okay.
not give it to him every time he asks for it. So
Okay.
create some amount of deprivation. So suppose he worked 12 for one worksheet and you say, hey, here is the A4 sheet and pen and pencil, you draw whatever. So don't do that.
Okay.
Keep it for these occasions. So every time he says, I want to go to the washroom, you tell him, okay, I'm putting a timer for 3 minutes. I'll stand outside with this pen, paper, and your A4 sheet. If you come
Okay.
out with after the alarm rings, then you will get it. So
Okay.
keep this highly preferred item only for this occasion.
Okay.
If he knows that he will get this after every activity, then there is no
Okay.
deprivation or there is no motivation for him to come out.
Okay.
And make an observation that does he do frequently when you teach new things, or
Uh,
does he do any
okay.
difficult task?
Okay.
So if you can, make a record or keep some data for it, that today we call it an ABC analysis: antecedent, behavior,
Okay.
and consequences. So
Okay.
antecedent is the class was on, or he was being taught maybe certain thing. He made a demand that he wants to go to the washroom and he took longer. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
antecedent maybe fraction, teaching fraction. He
Okay.
immediately made a demand that he wants to go to the washroom. That was the
Okay.
behavior, and he took longer. So that you put in the behavior column. I can share the ABC form with you. So you
Yes,
get
ma'am.
it printed date wise. And then what were the consequences? When he was not coming out, or when he
Okay.
came out, what did you do, or what did he get, or what was your instruction for him? So those are the consequences, that I told him that you come out and you do not have to do this worksheet, or you do not have to learn fraction. So he came out immediately. So this
Okay.
is an example of consequences.
Okay.
That the teacher said, okay, are you afraid of doing fraction? Okay, you can come out, you don't have to do fraction. He came out
Okay.
immediately. That means
Okay.
maybe he was finding it boring, finding it difficult, finding it challenging. So he wanted to take this advantage of escaping from this task. So you,
Okay.
for at least 15, 20 days, or I would say a month, you do this ABC data taking, that how many times a day he did this, what was the duration that he was in the washroom, what was the antecedent, and what was the consequences. You can
Okay.
share it with me after a month maybe, or if you see a pattern, then maybe 15 days, then we can think of that, okay, what could be the why behind this behavior? Maybe he
Yes.
is trying to escape difficult task. So
Okay.
this is one thing that you do as a teacher, record data, because if you do not have data, we cannot do any intervention strategy. And
Yes.
secondly, keep this drawing thing for him as highly preferred item. So you give this to him only when he comes out of the washroom after the bell rings. You set an
Okay.
alarm, let's see, show it to him, let's see, 3 minutes. Moment it rings, you have to come out and you can go back to the class and forget what your friends are doing. You can draw a building.
Okay.
So
Yes,
try
ma'am. Thank
this.
you so much.
Yeah, side by side, I'm not saying that this might work, but this might also work. So after the 1 month's ABC data, if we see a pattern, even you can do data taking for this strategy, that this is this high moment we promised him that this highly preferred thing will be given to him, he came out immediately. So how many days he came out immediately? You know, how many times he came out immediately when, and keep it out of his reach, that he will only get this thing if he complies with this alarm in the bathroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And I
so
do have a data of all this for last year with the child. So maybe
yes,
after the thing, or I check with
now
my
you
coordinator and
try, you know,
connect
even
with
if you
you.
can start, you can start from even, is he coming to the school now?
They will be coming only in the month of June. Uh,
Okay.
uh,
But are there any ABC data for this kid for this particular behavior?
no.
Then you cannot uh, go to backdate and create the ABC thing, right?
Yeah.
You have to have real data. So whenever the child
Okay.
resumes school, you can
Okay.
create your ABC sheet. I can send you the, I will send the format to Krishna. You
Okay.
create these two, you take data for these two ABC thing, and then you can
Okay.
share it with me after maybe a month, and then we'll
Oh,
decide if there is a pattern.
yes.
I'll give you detailed instruction, what to do, how to do. It's not
Yes.
difficult, it's very easy to fulfill. It's just that it's a little bit of effort from the teacher side,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's it. So keep a folder uh, for
Ready.
him for this behavior. Keep all your ABC data date-wise, and we will
Yes.
review after a month.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. So as anyone else, so what you suggest, or you give an example, is not a mending thing, it's shaping of a behavior. So, you know, conditioning of a behavior. So we could
Excuse me,
say that,
ma'am.
yes, please.
Yes, ma'am, this is Regina, ma'am. I'm a special educator. Ma'am, one of
Yeah.
my child has the fidgeting behavior, ma'am. So I observed the child. The child is expressing that behavior when he is alone, when he is don't have any activity time. He is doing that behavior and expressing the happiness time. Also, he is repeating
That's
the
a
same
sensory
fidgeting.
thing for him. So
How
that
can
means
I
if he is doing it in alone condition, it's a sensory behavior for me. So he does hand flap, right? Or fidget,
yes, ma'am. Fidgeting, ma'am.
fidgeting.
Fidgeting, ma'am.
Um,
To express the anger issue and to express the happiness, also he is doing the same behavior, ma'am.
so what exactly he does? Explain fidgeting. What exactly he does?
Uh, Fidgeting, ma'am.
Fidgeting is not a specific behavior. You have to define
Okay.
what exactly he does.
Ma'am, if I can intervene, he closes both of his hands and he tries to, kind of massage both his hands. That's what he does. And fewer times he flaps his hands as well.
I couldn't get it, but say again.
He flaps his hand.
He
Also,
he flaps his hand.
yes, and also
So
he
does
tries
he do like this?
yes,
So that's okay. Hand flapping and
and he also kind of keep twisting his hands,
now okay.
his own hands.
Yeah. So I think this is a sensory behavior. Hand flapping, a child does it because it creates a visual in front of them. So he is a visual sensory seeker. Twisting his hand, maybe he wants this deep pressure. So he likes that deep pressure in his wrist, fingers, elbows, ankles. So these are, you know, like tactile stimulation that keeps him regulated. Hand flapping, you can teach him an alternative behavior. So he does it when he is alone, right? More. When he is not engaged. Does he do it when he is in a lesson, like when he is also engaged in between? Does he show the urge to do it?
Sometimes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So hand flapping, basically, if it is very, very intense and impairs his learning, or, like kind of halts his learning, we teach them an alternative behavior that keep your hand in your pocket. When he is
Yes,
sitting
ma'am.
alone,
Same method I am following, ma'am. When we are
keep your
going to the
hands
snack time, yes, ma'am. When we are going to
and
the snack time and all, I am telling him to keep your hands inside your pocket. So it
in,
gradually started to reduce, but
yeah,
still he's doing, ma'am.
this is a bodily urge. To be very frank, these sensory behaviors are the most difficult to reduce. So
Okay.
you have to continuously guide him. Inside his pocket, you can keep some fidget toys, like,
Okay,
a
ma'am.
small, maybe a small ball which has harsh surface, or maybe a
Okay.
squishy ball, depending on what he likes. He likes to squeeze a squishy ball, or he likes to squeeze a spiky ball, or he likes to do fidget with a toy. So you can keep
Okay.
a toy in his pocket. For a child in my here in my center, for one child, we keep some scrap paper in his pocket. So when he,
Okay, ma'am.
uses crushes those paper inside his pocket, it makes kind of a feel in his fingers and some a feeble amount of noise. So that keeps him regulated. All the time you wouldn't be able to control, because the child also cannot help it. It's a sensory behavior. It's a visual. For some people, it's a visual stimulation. This creates a pattern in front of their eyes. For some child, they want to get up and give him lot of deep pressure, so you can squeeze here, you can squeeze here, you can squeeze here. Check if he is liking it. That means he is seeking that pressure in his fingers or joints. And yes, redirect him every time to when he is free, that, keep your hands in pocket, or, hold it in your hand. So in one hand, you can give him a squishy ball, you can give him something that he likes to hold, that you can hold it, and then you write. Some children, they might do this and they are writing unknowingly. So it's a bodily urge, and they also very helpless to control it. To the extent of 100%, it will never reduce. Because if you stop that, that will manifest in certain other kind of behavior. So you are taking that stimulation away. So it might come up as a different behavior. So do not try to make it to zero. I mean, to the extent of 40%, also if it has reduced. I know a child, I have seen him when he was 4.5 years old. Now he's a 13-year-old. He has the same behavior. So, as much as we tell him, but whenever he is alone, he just does it, because when he is alone, he doesn't have anything to be, no stimulus. So, he needs that no external stimulus. So, he needs that his body part to stimulate himself. So try to redirect him. Keep your hands in your pocket, keep your hands locked. Keep your hands locked. You can make him wear a mitten. So the oven gloves or mitten, you can make him wear that. Then this visual becomes kind of different. Restrain is not a strategy in ABA, so we just do not do that. Redirection, teach him some alternative behavior, give him some fidget toys so he can squeeze, because that is still a socially acceptable behavior, that he is squeezing on something. Lot of us, when we are stressed, we squeeze on a stress ball, kind of that. So if that same thing give him a same feeling, maybe he can use it less. So try all of this. But whatever you are trying, be consistent with it for at least some time, So 7 days and this is not working, I give up. That is how it is. It doesn't work. So be consistent for at least some time, 2 months, 3 months, and then see if there is any change. Check what is his tactile preference. Does he like soft thing? Does he like hard thing? Does he like crunch? And sometimes, if I do not know if parents will approve, but or maybe, because he likes that visual, so you can get a toy. It's a, what do you call, where you have sand on the, what is that called? Um, it has a name. The sand pours slowly through a hole. I am not being able to make you understand. I'll draw it. So it has two chambers and a restriction at the middle. So earlier, like in old days, we
A
had
sand
this.
clock?
Yes,
Sand
yes,
clock?
yes, yes. So the sand pours very, very slowly and it creates a visual. So that you can try, because he's getting some visual stimulation. If we are assuming that might give him a visual stimulation. Then there is another toy. I have seen it in Delhi, where I worked in Prakriti school. So maybe we'll get it in your place also. So it's clear kind of rectangle shape bottle type thing, kind of flatter. It has a colored liquid inside, and the bubbles goes up, down, up, down. That also creates a lovely visual for a lot of kids. I have seen many children have benefited for visual stimulation with this hand clock and this colored liquid with bubbles inside. So try to get those toys and keep it on his table. Get him introduced to it, and you will see a lot of excitement. Look how the sand is falling. Oh, keep your hands locked and look how the sand is falling, or how the bubble is going up and down. Maybe that visual will arrest this flapping behavior to some extent. So these are few strategies but I will be very honest, 100% it will never be. So even if you have been able to reduce it to the extent of 60%, you should be very happy. And especially if you can teach him that you can flap your hand in one corner, or you can flap your hand in a private place. So, like we teach them private behavior and public behavior. So you can introduce that also, because you are saying he's a bigger kid. So school, classroom, these are private, public place. So we don't do that. We keep our hands in pocket. When you are in your bedroom, when you are at your home, you can do it. During activity, you have to keep your hands locked. Keep one hand in your pocket. You can squeeze this ball. So give him lot of alternative, because many a times it's tactile, many a times it's visual, many a times we don't understand what is the function. It's very difficult to gauge what is the function. So try all of this and check if there is any change in the number of time he flaps. And
Thank you, ma'am.
this is yes. And because this is a way of regulating himself, if you try to withdraw it completely, it will manifest in certain other behavior, which is also not, I would say, like acceptable, I would say. So do not try to escalate. Gradually try to introduce these things and see if there is any change. And all the time keep a data that this toy was kept and his hand flapping behavior. I would say don't take frequency, because if he is doing it, so he will do it very fast. You cannot count it, how many times he is doing. I would say maybe observe him in 1 hour and make 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes block. So first 10 minutes, he was busy with an activity. He didn't do it. Okay, so you put a 0. So he didn't do it. Next 10 minutes block, even if he is doing it, if he is doing it for part of the block, then also you keep a cross, because you are trying to decrease the behavior. And so observe whole day, you cannot observe him for 1 hour, make it 10 minutes block, keep data, try one thing at a time. So maybe this visual, that this sand clock or this color bubble, try it for a month, and you see if there is any reduction in data. Data taking, do you do?
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing, ma'am. I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then maybe next time, along with sand clock, you give him maybe for 10 minutes time, you give him a squishy ball.
Yes, ma'am.
It might so happen that he will keep the squishy ball down and start doing this. That means that's not working for him. That is not giving him the stimulus. You can try the other type of ball and check his reaction. So if he is dropping it maybe after few seconds, so that he is not getting interested in that. So try ask him to in his pocket give some crunchy papers or something that he can make this and make a sound. So check when you are leading him to the washroom. So do this when you are leading him to the play area. Take all of these incidents or time for observing and do one strategy at a time. So, and if these children generally they love the deep pressure. So, you can do this. So it might give him some relief. You might gently do here. This shoulder bone, you might do it here. So this deep pressure, lot of children, they like it. You will immediately understand. So if you pull, so little, so he gets the pressure here, he gets the pressure here. He'll immediately understand if he's liking it or not.
Yes, ma'am. Sure,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you.
So, and gradually you pair this as a, thing for him that stop this, I will squeeze your hand, I will press. Do you want me to press your hand? Do you want a deep pressure here? So use your words also to pair what is it called, that deep pressure. I want massage. Deep pressure, if it is difficult for him to utter, you can say, I want massage. So he can mend for it. See, here comes the mending. So when you are using it, Dhruv, do you like massage? Okay, I massage. So now he understands that this is massage and he gets relief. So next time he will ask you, ma'am, massage. So ask him to man for it, introduce this term for it, check what happens and what does your data say.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay?
ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone, any other question? Because we are done with today's training. I am ready to explain to any doubts related to your kid, classroom behavior. I am here. So we discussed about this hand flapping behavior. We gave some strategy about this bathroom run for a particular kid. Anything else?
And we also have a couple of other children who cannot stay or ma'am, we also have a couple of children who cannot stay in their seat for a longer period of time. When the sessions are happening, the child is in grade 2. He keeps moving around, not only inside the class, but he comes out of the class and he just takes a whole round of the school and he goes back to the class. We do allow that because maybe he needs a break. He tells, at times he informs, at times he doesn't. So
yes.
I hope we are in the right track or something else.
Yes, because the child needs a movement break. You create movement break within your program. So give him non-contingent movement break. Do you understand what non-contingent means?
No, ma'am, if you could just please
explain. So contingent and non-contingent. So a child completes a task and you give him the reinforcement. That is contingent reinforcement, right? So he complied with your instruction, he completed the task, and you gave him the thing that he wanted. That is contingent. Now, non-contingent is irrespective of the child is working, not working. In between, you give him his reinforcement. So that is, so suppose you are doing 1 hour session, every 5 minutes, even if before he gets up from his seat, it has to come, you take a data for few days. What is his maximum sitting tolerance? Is it for 1 minute? Is it for 2 minutes? Is it for 3 minutes? So if you have done average for few days, that his sitting tolerance on an average is 2.5 minutes. So you start giving him non-contingent movement break from the next day at 2 minutes. So before even the child gets up from his seat, you keep your timer at 2 minutes, you said, Dhruv, let's take a movement break. And okay, 1 minute, I'm putting the timer. And 1 minute, he will go inside the classroom. You also be along with him and with the timer. After the timer is done, you lead him back to his chair. So initially keep him maybe 2 minutes break, and his movement break will be maybe 3 minutes longer. Gradually, you can increase his on-sit behavior time if you still keep on taking data. That non-contingent, you do it maybe for 15 days, 20 days, and check how much is, you stop the intervention. So after 15 days, you stop the intervention. We call it treatment period, non-treatment period. So no non-contingent movement break. So you check how much longer he could sit. Is it more than 2.5 minutes? So maybe he was sitting for 4 minutes today. So that means this non-contingent movement break has been working with him. So you increase that time of 2.5 minutes sitting to 4 minutes sitting, and decrease his movement time from 3 minutes to 2 minutes to 2 minutes 30 seconds. So he should be inside the classroom, because outside the classroom, if he doesn't, if he goes by himself, it poses a safety hazard. So you have to teach him that you can take this movement break inside the class. If you have to go outside, you have to tell your teacher. That's also again mandating. So few days you practice. When you give him the non-contingent break, let's go to the play area. You go with your teacher always. Just a statement. No direct thing, instruction, nothing. You go to the play area with your teacher. Let's go to the play area. Maybe out of 1 hour, 2 times you take him to the play area, prep him that every time he wants to go to play area, he should inform the teacher or he should man for it. So give him keep 2 cards in front of him. Whichever area he prefers to go, click a picture. Classroom where he takes a movement break, take a picture. Keep these 2 in front of him and you say point where you want to go. So if he says, I want to, okay, Dhruv, movement break. You are still giving him non-contingent break. So you say, okay, Dhruv, movement break. Choose where you want to go. So if he chooses play area, you guide him to the play area with your timer. 3 minutes, come back. And then if he chooses classroom, you enrich the environment. So he doesn't feel the need to go to the play area. This is also another concept I forget to mention, that enrich your environment so the child doesn't need to go outside to get stimulation or reinforcement. Whatever his favorite items are, observe what he does when he goes outside. Does he play? Does he sit? Maybe the child goes outside and sit quietly under a tree. So he needs some quiet time away from the classroom. Create a small space in the corner of his classroom. So you can increase your picture cards, that quiet area, movement break, play area. Allow him to choose. Enrich your environment so he doesn't need to go to the play area, because without calling this becomes a huge challenge. It will become when the child grows up if he doesn't tell anybody. We had a huge incident in the school in Prakriti. The child ran and ran. We had to actually involve police. So you should teach the child that if you want to go to outside of the class, call your teacher. That manding has to come first. So if he chooses play area, you'll say, okay, Dhruv, how do you ask? Teacher, I want to go to play area. Then only you can take him. So gradually, if you practice it consistently, he will get it. That for play area, he has to tell the teacher. But inside the classroom, observe what he does in the play area. If he is just taking around, you can enrich the classroom. He can take around inside the classroom also. But for many, if he is going there and sitting on the swing, so that means he needs that also, the movement of the swing that calms him down. So, but he has to tell you. You keep provision for his movement break to the play area, inside the classroom, wherever, but he has to tell the teacher before he goes out of the classroom.
Right.
Am I clear?
So much.
Did
Yes,
it?
yes.
Yes. So prepare those cards, make him choose, make him ask for it, and then you allow him. So initially, if he is getting up very frequently, that means his sitting tolerance is poor. So you need to develop that sitting tolerance. So provide this non-contingent movement break. Maybe if you take data for 15 days, what is his maximum sitting tolerance? Give your non-contingent movement break before even that time. So before even he gets up from his seat, you tell him that, oh, it's your movement break. So go take a round. You can, even if it is possible, close the classroom door, lock it from inside so he cannot go to the play area without your help. And you practice that. If you want to go outside, you have to tell me. Okay?
Right, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Got it. Thank you.
But data taking is a must. You have to understand what is his sitting tolerance. And when a child has sitting intolerance, keep the demand little low, when he is working. So if his task is to do 10 addition sums in a worksheet, you break it down. So 3, 3, 3. Do not give the whole worksheet at one go. It frustrates the child more. So take the goal in chunks. It's a human psychology. When you know that you have to clean your room and you see, oh, there are plenty of stuff that you have to clean, even we as adults, we feel over, oh my God, I will take the whole day to clean. But if you decide, no, today I am only going to clean my cupboard of this side, then you forget whatever is there, other clutter are there. Only you take that, you are mentally settled. So similarly, if a child gets up from the chair, it always doesn't mean sitting intolerance. It means the child is afraid of the task. The child wants to escape the task. So what you have to do, you have to break the task in chunks. Gradually, you increase that when you apply all of this behavioral strategy and he can sit. Even for older kids, we do not sometimes give them the whole thing at one go. So break down your task, give it in chunks. And when you are developing sitting tolerance, keep the demand low. Ignore certain things that is not directly hampering this intervention strategy. and you take data and try.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll do that. Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Anyone else? Anything else?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, how do I differentiate between the tantrums and sensory overload, ma'am? Because one of my child, when I ask, he has a sensory issues, ma'am. So when I ask him to do writing activity, sometimes he get anger and he's broken the pencil and he threw the paper.
Okay.
He started to run away from that place. So how can I handle this?
Have you checked his fine motor function? Can he hold a pencil properly?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. When he writes, are the lines firm?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what do you give him to write?
Comprehension activities, activity worksheets only, ma'am. When I am started
So,
to do the ask him to do the worksheet,
uh-huh.
sometimes he's showing this kind of behavior, ma'am.
Do
So
you know that he is completely aware of what is it he is supposed to do? Is it a new task he does it more, or is it every task he does it? So
mostly,
maybe you have taught him fraction 3
yes.
days ago, and you give him a worksheet of fraction. So does it show this tantrum more, or
Somewhere he find the difficulty to solve the sums. He started to show that tantrums.
yes, that means he is afraid of the task. It might
Okay,
not
ma'am.
be his writing behavior.
But he is
So
know
it
about
might,
the concept.
yeah, knowing concept is one thing, because he doesn't have to do anything other than sitting in the class and listening to the teacher. But when you give him the worksheet, you check the concept, how much he has been able to assimilate. So do not give too many sums at one point of time. If it is,
Okay.
a new task that you have recently taught, give him the easiest one that he can do, and then gradually build up the difficulty level. That is number one. Support him. You prep him from the beginning that, Sanvi, I'm going to support you. I'm going to help you. You can ask me. And maybe one or two moment he stops, you say, oh, this is it. So he knows that whenever he is not being able to move past, you are there to support him. So if it is, first of all, if it is a new task, give him worksheets with easiest sums, divide
Okay,
it
ma'am.
in chunks, increase the difficulty level gradually. So it could be for comprehension. So if you think that if the passage is longer and he is showing more behavior thing, that means he doesn't have the patience to read through the whole passage and then doing the comprehension. So what you can do, you can, like ask him to, okay, read the first 10 lines, take a break, 2 minutes, read the 10 lines, and you do the comprehension question maybe on a later date. So you ask him, do you want to do the question? Help him initially that, okay, who did this is the question. He is not being able to find the name of the person who. Maybe he doesn't understand who means a person. Maybe it was not a direct answer. It was embedded in the passage. So you help him. See, this is the person who did this. So you have to circle this. You have to write this name. So give him lot of support. When it
Okay,
is
ma'am.
a new task or you think that it is a difficult task. And if you think that writing means his fine motor is not functioning properly, so he find it difficult to hold to a pen for longer time, he finds it difficult to hold a normal pen, then you have to check with your OT. You can use maybe a marker because it is easy flowing. You can, instead
Yes.
of worksheet, you can laminate a plain sheet and you can ask him to write on that. If you have an OT person, the person will be able to assess and tell you if it is related to fine motor skills. If it is not, then I think it's avoidance of task. So he is afraid of the task. He finds it difficult. So give him lot of support. Increase the difficulty level gradually. Initially, maybe you can give a easy passage of 5 lines. Increase it gradually to 7 lines, 10 lines, and 15 lines. And if it is a
Okay,
new
ma'am.
task that has been introduced very recently, give him the easiest options available, gradually increase the difficulty level. All the time you keep on reminding him that I am here to help you. Moment he stops, falters, you immediately jump in to help. So he doesn't get an opportunity even to bang his pen on the table.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, yes,
So
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
try,
Fine.
yeah, try doing all of this. But if you have an OT, you can casually ask the OT to check if there is any issues related to his fine motor skill. Lot of children hate writing because of their weak fine motor. They find it difficult to hold the pen. Their holding posture is difficult, faulty. So hand hurts. So you have to correct those if there is any fine motor issue.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Yes, Meenakshi ma'am, this is Auxilia again.
Yes. Yes.
And I would like to discuss about this child who is 14 years old.
Yeah.
And currently studying in grade 7 and he's stepping to grade 8.
Okay.
But he's very good, active in the ground. He plays well, he loves to play football, basketball, and he likes to be with the friends in the turf. But when it comes
Okay.
to the classroom, he struggles. He's struggling a lot academically, and he finds it very difficult to read, write, and spelling is a problem. Though we syllabify and help him, and he takes a longer time to understand the simpler concepts, and
That means
he never comes.
it is his deficiency. I mean,
Um,
he's active in the field. He loves to play. That is one part of him. But if you say that he is understanding later, he is not being able to grasp the
yes.
consequences, maybe he is not ready for grade 7. What is his diagnosis? Is there any kind of diagnosis, or it's a regular kid in your neurotypical kid in your class?
He's according to us, he's a normal kid.
Okay, we say we do not use this word normal. We say neurotypical. Okay, be
Okay,
mindful of.
I get it.
Yeah. So
I get it.
how has he done academically in the past? So because
All of
more he
my,
is moving up on the grades, the difficulty level is increasing. So maybe it is
okay.
not within his intellectual, maybe intellectually he is still not okay with grade 8. Because
Okay.
across, if you find that he is not being able to get the concepts, then yeah, we have to deduce that he has some intellectual deficiency, cognitive deficiency. He takes time to understand. So in this situation, you have to break down the task. So if you are teaching him, suppose rotation of the earth, right?
Okay.
Maybe but you have a curriculum to follow. You just cannot
Yes.
do that. So you have to break it down in task analysis. How is he going to do? A special
Okay.
educator might be able to give you a lot more strategies how to teach certain things. Maybe Neha ma'am will be a good person, but generally, as an ABA therapist, I don't see there is any behavioral issues with the child if he is not. If you have observed that he is getting concepts and all late and not understanding a lot of things, so he needs breaking down the task, do a task analysis. Suppose if you are teaching him percentage, You just do
Okay.
not start, 7 upon 8 is equal to, you have to put a multiple in 100 and then it is your percentage. So you have
Okay.
to go to the basics, what is a numerator, what is a denominator. Percentage means it's in 100, numerator is at the top, denominator at the bottom. You multiply it with 100. You first understand whether he does understand whether it's a multiplication is. So you have to break down your task. If you are teaching him Earth rotation, so Earth spins, and use lot of visuals. Lot of children, they get things with lot of visual. So abstract thing, if you are teaching him, say, Earth rotation, I cannot fathom, I cannot imagine that the Earth's axis is an imaginary thing. So how do
Okay.
you teach them? So how I did it for my class, what is a rotation and what is a revolution. So I made one student stand, and then I was just, turn it like, when we say spin in the nursery song,
Yes.
spin. So she was spinning. So other children were seeing that Sanvi is spinning, standing at one place. That means it's the rotation. Now, where is the imaginary axis? How do you explain? So you cannot see the axis, Earth's axis.
Okay.
Simple as that. What is the revolution? Then I brought another child. Sanvi was standing in the middle, and Lavina was taking round around Sanvi. So that's revolution. So visually, if you express things, visually, if you explain things, many a times it becomes lot better for children to understand concepts. Abstract concept basically takes, gas, state of matter. Okay, solid, you understand. Liquid, you understand. Gas, how are you going to make him understand? So you say, okay, I blow a balloon. What I am filling inside, it's gas. Can you see gas inside the balloon? No. So gas is invisible. Solid, you can hold and touch. Liquid, you can hold and touch. Gas, you cannot. So, use lot of visual, do task analysis of the of each task to the start scaffolding. We call it scaffolding. So go step by step. Then it becomes easier for him.
So because we have different teachers handling the same child, we need to work together for
Absolutely.
our own subjects. Am I right, Meenakshi ma'am?
All teachers should be at the same page, whether the teacher is teaching spelling. Yeah, now spelling, he cannot recollect, he cannot remember. Phonetically, have you tried? He cannot spell. That means it's a cognitive deficiency.
Auxilia.
Yeah. So spelling, how are you going to break down? So that will be lot of effort, and I do not know how far he will go. But suppose you are teaching him the spelling of apple. So we do backward chaining or we do forward chaining. So apple, so you write APPL, only keep the last space empty and make him fill E.
Okay.
So you are starting backward chaining. So he, for the first time, he filled E. Next day, maybe 3-4 trials, you write APPL and you say, okay, Dhruv, write apple. So he fills in E. That means he got it, that at the end, E comes. Then maybe next day you keep 2 blank for L and E. And you ask him APP, he will have to fill L and E. So you are doing backward chaining. Similarly, you can do forward chaining. So you write all other alphabets except A, he has to fill in A. But for a child in grade 8, these are things that we do for, smaller tasks like phone number. How to remember a phone number. So we do either backward chaining or forward chaining. But a child who is in grade 8, at least you can break it into syllable, phonetically check his phonetic awareness. So if he can, do that. But I believe he will have some cognitive deficiency, and You need to break down the task to the lowest level.
How do we approach the parents on this, Meenakshi ma'am? How do we
You have
educate?
to tell, yeah, you have to tell the parent gently and subtly that, see, this we have been observing, that it is taking longer time. We generally say that do not use negative word at the beginning. When you
Yes.
are addressing parents, it is a very sensitive issue for the parents for obvious reasons, right? Nobody likes
Yes.
to hear
Yes.
that my child cannot achieve
Yes.
certain things. So
True.
you
True.
say that, well, while he is very good at other activities, social, communication, play, etc., in the classroom and with certain subjects, he is finding it little bit challenging. Then you take the name of the subjects that, in science, he is finding it difficult to learn the concept. We are trying our best to, give him lot of support, visual support, make him understand, breaking down the task analysis. Um, so maybe he will take little longer. Be patient with him. At the end of the academic year, the parent will come hounding for you that why he couldn't do that. So if you do not give the parents the heads up from the beginning, it will be difficult for you to explain at the later phase. So maybe you can just suggest that, do you think it is possible to get an assessment done for him from an educational psychologist? Do you have anyone available in the area, educational psychologist?
I think Dr. Soumya Samakshi. I think
Yes,
Dr. Soumya.
she's the one.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
can suggest that also. That, is it possible if we may suggest you use this phrase, this is my experience, 15
Okay,
years
ma'am.
dealing with parents, that may we suggest that he be taken to an educational psychologist for an assessment. So it is easier for us teachers to understand how to teach him certain things, If we get it from the doctor, some kind of diagnosis, then we will change our course of action, how we teach. We will change our strategies, how we teach. And I think approach the parents sooner than later. If they agree and if you have a report that yes, he has some intellectual disability, then it will be easier for you to explain why his grades are not good, why he is not moving up, or you can suggest him that, okay, he is very good at these things, maybe music, maybe sports.
Yes.
So why do you not, make him go to a sports club for learning certain sports? So that will prepare him for maybe a future disappointment. That academically, okay, but he can learn a sports. That's a beautiful talent in him. So you can think of it. Or if he is good at music, why do you not put him in a music school that will give him a skill? So you prepare the parent, eventually you have to do it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for your
Because if
insight.
he's a neurotypical child, then he has to write for the examination, right? And if the
And he's
doctor,
not
yes, you can tell this option also that if there is something the doctor says that he has some kind of, like deficiency, then during his board exam, we can even apply for a scribe,
Yes.
or maybe we can apply for extra time.
Yes.
So that immediately catches the attention of a parent. Okay. So speak to the parent, ask your school counselor to speak to the parent. Maybe that person is better equipped with words and phrases. But I believe he has some intellectual disability.
Yes, ma'am. And another child also in the same class, but the difficulty level is little less for him.
Yes.
Trying out different strategies with the child because the child has problem with the language skills. So just working on that. learning language skills. Because of that, he has problem in understanding another child in the
Yes.
same class. So we need
Right.
to talk to the other parent as well.
Right.
Correct? Yes.
Yes. Language skill means the child cannot comprehend what you say.
Comprehend. He cannot comprehend. He takes time to understand, but he tries a lot. He works. He
Okay.
comes to us. He
So
comes to us
yeah.
for
So
help.
so you break down the task. You try as much as possible to break down the task,
Mhm.
but at the same point of time give a heads up to the parents. It helps them prepare mentally also.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. So we can. How do you feel about this session today?
Very informative, ma'am. Lot of inputs, lot of ideas. And the one takeaway that from this session I have is that observation is the key. So
Yes.
keep observing your child.
Observe or keep observing. Yes, you get lot of input if you observe a child well.
Exactly.
Observe
Okay.
and
Thank
record
you
the
so much,
data.
ma'am. I also guess that soon you're going to be with us at school.
I'm sorry.
So we might
I'm
meet you
sorry.
in. I believe that you are here with us in the school very soon. So we'll meet you in person as well.
I am not sure as yet. Krishna is the best person to comment on that. But I would love to come there and meet you all and have a very interactive session. In the meanwhile, I promised someone that I would give the ABC data sheet. I will give
Yes,
that to Krishna. Krishna can circulate it to you, to the teachers.
sure, ma'am. We'll take it from him. We'll take it from him.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And
So,
please
okay.
do thank you so much,
Yes.
Meenakshi ma'am. And please do
Yeah.
share the link of those videos where whenever
I
we
will.
have a doubt, we can go back and just look at
Sure,
the videos
absolutely.
and the recorded
I can
videos.
send this PPT also if that helps you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can even look for things in Google. There are plenty of good YouTube channel by BCBAs. BCBAs are the highest credentialed persons for behavior analysis. So there are lovely videos. So you can watch, you can see what is available there. But yes, keep your eyes and ears open. Be always empathetic. And we say that, any input from a child is like a gem. So take that as a positive thing and work around that. Deficiencies, we work around that. Positive thing, we nurture more. And we try to reach somewhere.
Exactly,
Okay?
ma'am. Exactly.
Yeah. So true. So everybody has something or the other as a strong point, as a weak point. We do not highlight the weak points. We work around the weak points. We do highlight more the positive points, so the child also gets encouragement. And include parents also sometimes, if the school permits, in your decision making, in your discussion. So we always say that parents, caregivers, teachers, everybody will have to be on the same page if a strategy has to work effectively. So I am teaching a child something to be independent, self-care. I learned that when the child goes home, the nanny does everything for the child. So whatever efforts we are doing in the center, washed away, So everybody should be on the same page. So that's my submission. And so let's close it if anybody doesn't have any other question. Krishna,
That's
I
all
now
for
finish
now,
it
ma'am.
then? Okay.
It's all done, ma'am. It's all
Everyone.
done.
Okay.
Anyone
I
else
think
has a question,
Krishna also has learned a lot about ABA, right?
I do. It's a pleasure to have you all
Yes.
in the meeting, and it's a great learning for the team because it's always mommy's mom what we create as a teachers. So it's great pleasure, and we cherish this moment, ma'am.
Thank you so much. My honor. And in the meanwhile, if there is anything that is bothering, let me know. I might be able to, connect and give some suggestion. Keep working, keep learning, keep learning. That is for us teachers is the mantra of going forward. So keep learning. Have a good afternoon and see you soon. Okay.
Thank you,
ma'am.
and thank you
Looking
team for
forward.
joining.
you, ma'am.
Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. And I'll send the recording to you, Krishna. Okay.
Yes, true. I got it.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you, team. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.